Circus Circus opened its doors in 1968, promising affordable thrills and family-friendly circus acts under the neon big top. More than half a century later, the property still stands, making it the oldest original casino building on the Strip. But the years have not been kind. In 2019, Phil Ruffin took ownership, and since then, the business model looks less like hospitality and more like cash extraction. The 67-acre site sits on land now valued at over $500 million, yet inside, the experience tells a different story. Guest complaints from 2024 describe rooms in the Manor section reeking of mildew and marijuana, carpets that have not seen a deep clean in years, and air conditioners that sound like they are on their last legs. Health violations keep piling up, with leaky roofs patched with buckets instead of repairs, and security staff stretched so thin that theft and late-night fights have become routine. Decades ago, Circus Circus was where families found affordable Vegas fun. Now, even budget travelers warn friends to steer clear. For Ruffin, every year of deferred maintenance means another year of profit while waiting for the land to appreciate. The building may be crumbling, but as long as it generates millions in annual cash flow, demolition can wait. In the end, the real value is not in the circus, but in the dirt beneath it. Sahara first opened its doors in 1952, a North Strip landmark once known for Rat Pack glamour and swinging showrooms. That legacy feels distant now. After nearly 6 decades, the original Sahara closed in 2011. New owners poured $415 million into a full-scale renovation, reopening as SLS Las Vegas in 2014. The transformation was bold, but the new brand never caught on. 5 years later, the SLS name was abandoned, and the property switched back to Sahara in 2019. 2 rebrands in 10 years left guests and locals confused about what exactly Sahara stood for. The problems run deeper than a name. The Meruelo Group, which bought the property for $165 million, less than half of what had just been spent on renovations, struggled to find a winning formula. North Strip isolation means foot traffic is thin, with most tourists gravitating toward the Center Strip's energy. Even with the convention center nearby, Sahara's occupancy lags behind the competition, reportedly at 65% to 70%. That is among the lowest rates for major Strip resorts, and it shows. The casino floor, despite recent tweaks, feels dated. Slot machines underperform, and the hotel's rooms fill only during peak convention weeks. For a property with over $400 million sunk into its latest reinvention, the numbers do not add up. The land itself is less valuable than parcels further south, limiting options for a profitable sale or redevelopment. With no clear identity and weak financials, Sahara stands as a cautionary tale. In modern Vegas, even a storied name cannot survive without a strong brand and a steady stream of guests. Luxor stands out on the Strip, not only for its 30-story black glass pyramid, but for the engineering headaches that come with it. Since opening in 1993, the building's iconic design has turned into a liability. The pyramid's sloped walls require specialized elevators called inclinators that move at a steep angle along the glass. Unlike standard hotel elevators, these machines demand custom parts and technicians. When something breaks, repairs can take weeks, and costs pile up fast. Industry insiders estimate annual maintenance for the inclinators alone runs into the millions of dollars, with replacement components sometimes shipped from overseas. Beyond the elevators, the pyramid's glass facade faces relentless desert sun. Decades of heat have left the exterior panels cracked and weathered, driving up repair costs every year. The Skybeam, once a marvel of excess, now burns through around $450,000 in electricity annually. Inside, 4,400 rooms still carry the look and feel of the 1990s, with infrastructure that is overdue for a complete overhaul. MGM's own accounting reportedly puts the price tag for a full-scale renovation near $800 million, nearly the cost of building a new mid-tier resort from scratch. But the economics do not stop there. Demolishing the pyramid and replacing it with high-rise condos or a luxury resort could bring in upwards of $2 billion based on recent strip land sales and development trends. With occupancy rates lagging 10 to 15% behind MGM's flagship properties, the math starts to look grim for Luxor's future as a casino hotel. In the end, the building's unique character, once its biggest draw, has become the very thing pushing it toward the chopping block. Flamingo opened its doors in December 1946, built on mob money and Bugsy Siegel's vision of a desert oasis. For nearly 8 decades, it has stood through every reinvention of Las Vegas, outlasting its rivals to become the oldest continuously operating casino on the Strip. While Bugsy Siegel's name faded into legend after his murder 6 months into the Flamingo's run, the property kept evolving, swapping out original buildings in 1993, layering on pink neon, and adding a wildlife habitat to lure modern tourists. That habitat, home to 300 Chilean flamingos, now costs $2 million a year to maintain. Meanwhile, the rooms show their age. Renovations from 2012 are already dated by current standards, and behind the scenes, the plumbing is 79 years old, patched up, never replaced. Fire code violations crop up with regularity. The casino floor, once the centerpiece of Vegas nightlife, now generates the lowest revenue per square foot in the entire Caesars portfolio. On paper, the Flamingo's 15 acres of center strip land are worth more than $500 million. Its corporate owner, Caesars, is carrying more than $12 billion in debt, and every underperforming asset draws scrutiny from Wall Street. The Flamingo's nostalgia factor, mob history, pink birds, and a legacy stretching back to the city's wildest days counts for nothing when compared to quarterly earnings and debt obligations. The financial logic is brutal. It is cheaper to place the Flamingo brand on a new tower than to keep sinking money into patching up the old bones. As the pressure mounts to monetize every inch of the Strip, the last mob relic stands on borrowed time. Its legacy is being measured not in memories, but in dollars per square foot. Treasure Island opened in 1993 with a promise of adventure, a family-friendly pirate ship, nightly battles, and a bold spot on the Strip's Golden Mile. For a decade, the Buccaneer Bay shows drew crowds every 90 minutes, cannons firing and water splashing as tourists lined the lagoon. By 2013, the last sirens had sailed, and the pirate theme was quietly abandoned. The resort's identity faded, replaced by a bland TI rebrand that never caught on with new generations or loyal fans. The decline accelerated after the Mirage, Treasure Island's neighbor and lifeline, was demolished in 2024. The walkway that once funneled thousands of guests directly into the casino vanished overnight. Foot traffic studies from the following months show a steep drop. What was once a steady stream of visitors became a trickle. The loss of connectivity left Treasure Island stranded, cut off from the energy and crowds of the center strip. With no new attractions and no easy access, the casino floor grew quiet and revenue slid further. Inside, the story is not much brighter. the last full renovation wrapped up in 2009, leaving nearly 2,900 rooms stuck in a time warp. Outdated fixtures, worn carpets, and aging amenities have become the norm. The 17-acre property, now valued at up to $500 million if cleared for new development, sits underutilized while operating costs creep above profits. The casino floor, once a showcase for themed slots and table games, now struggles to fill its seats. Even on weekends, the buzz of excitement has faded to a low hum. Treasure Island's isolation and dated product have pushed it to the edge. In a city where every square foot is measured for its earning power, the logic points toward closure and redevelopment. The pirate ship may have vanished, but the real treasure lies in the land beneath the resort, a prize waiting for the next high-rise or luxury tower. As the Strip continues to reinvent itself, Treasure Island's days as a casino appear numbered, not because of nostalgia, but because the numbers no longer add up. LINQ's story begins with a demolition. In 2012, the Imperial Palace, an oddball relic with a fake pagoda roof and a reputation for cheap rooms, was wiped from the map. In its place, Caesars Entertainment spent $550 million building a property aimed squarely at millennials. The promise was a modern, social-first resort where the casino was just one piece of a larger lifestyle puzzle. When LINQ opened in 2014, it boasted the world's tallest observation wheel, a 550-foot high roller designed to lure a new generation of Vegas visitors. But the gamble did not pay off. The casino floor measures just 33,000 square feet, the smallest on the Strip. Compared to the sprawling gaming halls of its neighbors, LINQ's floor feels more like an afterthought than a destination. With only 2,256 rooms, it lacks the critical mass to compete with mega resorts offering 3,000 or more. The high roller draws crowds, but most are day trippers or Instagram tourists who ride the wheel, snap photos, and leave without ever touching a slot machine or booking a room. Internal conversion studies show that fewer than 1 in 5 high roller visitors spend money elsewhere on the property. From the start, LINQ's business model struggled to convert foot traffic into gaming revenue. Caesars responded by folding LINQ into its broader loyalty program, merging it with the massive Caesars Rewards system and erasing any sense of a standalone brand. Internal documents refer to the Caesars LINQ Flamingo corridor as a single operational unit, with LINQ's identity fading into the background. The property's casino hosts, once tasked with cultivating a millennial clientele, now serve as overflow for Caesars Palace and Flamingo. Room inventory is managed as part of a larger pool, and marketing budgets have been slashed to the bone. The economics are clear. The $550 million spent on LINQ's makeover has failed to deliver the expected returns. Slot performance lags behind every other Caesars property on the Strip. Occupancy rates hover just above 80%, but average daily rates are among the lowest in the company's portfolio. The casino's small footprint and lack of signature attractions beyond the high roller make it redundant in a market obsessed with scale and spectacle. Corporate strategy now treats LINQ less as a unique destination and more as a set of rooms and gaming tables to be absorbed into the Caesars Palace brand. Rebranding as Caesars Palace Tower 2 is the most cost-effective path forward. No need for demolition, just a quiet erasure of the LINQ name. In a city where most casinos die with a bang, LINQ faces a quieter end, not a collapse, but a slow fade into corporate anonymity, its brand gone within the next year or two. Palace Station opened in 1976 as the Bingo Palace, a modest local spot built well away from the glamour of the Strip. By the 1980s, it had grown into a full-scale casino, rebranded as Palace Station, and became a fixture for Las Vegas residents who wanted to gamble, eat, and drink without fighting through tourists. But in the decades since, the casino has become a case study in what happens when corporate ambition collides with community loyalty and loses. Community loyalty has been sidelined by balance sheets. Station Casinos was taken private in 2007 in a $5.3 billion leveraged buyout. When the recession hit, the company filed for bankruptcy in 2009, emerging 2 years later with a balance sheet still heavy with obligations. Since then, Station's portfolio has shrunk. Texas Station, Fiesta Rancho, and Fiesta Henderson all closed in 2020. Their doors shuttered as the company cut losses and doubled down on more profitable ventures. Each closure sent a clear message: no property is safe if the numbers do not add up. For Palace Station, the warning signs have multiplied. The property sits on 42 acres of Sahara corridor real estate, estimated to be worth between $80 million and $100 million if cleared for apartments or retail. With every passing year, the land grows more valuable, while the casino itself struggles to keep pace with changing tastes. Younger gamblers are shifting to sports betting apps and to tribal casinos in California, draining the lifeblood from a business built on slot machines and table games. The locals market, once a steady source of revenue, is shrinking as competition grows and the city population ages. Land value is the driving factor now. Inside the casino, guest complaints have become more pointed. Online reviews from 2024 mention plumbing failures that caused guest room floods, and rumors swirl about mold found in kitchen equipment and in ice machines. While official records do not confirm every allegation, the perception of neglect is hard to shake. Maintenance budgets have been slashed, and the property has not seen meaningful investment since the last round of renovations following bankruptcy. The company's strategy is clear: squeeze what profit remains, while spending as little as possible on upkeep. Neglect becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Financial pressures are mounting. Station Casino's overall debt load still hovers around $3 billion, and Palace Station's operating losses are starting to outstrip its modest profits. The pattern that doomed sister properties is repeating. As revenue declines and maintenance costs rise, the logic of closure becomes impossible to ignore. Industry analysts point to the 2020 shutdowns as a blueprint. Declare the property non-core, announce a closure as an exciting redevelopment opportunity, and demolish within 18 months to make way for something new. Debt plus land value equals a business decision. The timeline is already taking shape. With mounting losses, a shrinking customer base, and a valuable piece of real estate underfoot, Palace Station stands at the front of the line for closure. Industry watchers expect an announcement by late 2025 or early 2026, with demolition to follow soon after. For longtime locals, the loss will sting. For Station Casinos and its investors, the decision is cold math. Land is worth more than loyalty, and the past offers no protection from the future. This is not just one building closing. It is a pattern: deferred maintenance, falling reviews, shrinking revenue, and then the corporate label of non-core. The announcement is repackaged as progress. Demolition and redevelopment follow. For Palace Station, the likely end is already written, and the countdown has begun. Demolition is the most probable outcome, and the community will pay the price. Across all 7 casinos, one truth stands out. In modern Vegas, Nostalgia and legacy vanish the moment profit margins slip. Corporate owners see history as a liability and land as the only asset worth maximizing. The fate of these icons warns us Vegas is not preserving its past, it is cashing it in. The city's next reinvention is already planned, and nothing sentimental will stand in its way.